All right, what's up, everybody? Welcome back to Callings and Careers. What's up, Jessica?
How are you doing, Christopher?
I'm doing supercalifragilisticexpialidocious.
Say
How
that
about
five
that
times
today?
really fast.
I ain't doing it. I ain't saying it 5 times in a row. They got to catch it the first time the anointing flows. Well, what's up, everybody? This is Christopher and Jessica again back at you. Welcome to Callings and Careers, where we help you discover your calling and develop in your career. And we're committed to you finding the right strategies, hearing the right strategies. We are literally offering you master level conversations around your calling and around your career. You can go, of course, to YouTube and Google Callings and Careers or search Callings and Careers. And I need to go back and see, man. I think this is episode number 9, maybe 10. Um, yeah, we've been rolling.
Yeah. So that's a lot of,
Yeah,
when you take a master's degree program, it's a lot of classes, a lot of coursework, but the commitment is what gets you through the program.
that's exactly right. So,
Yeah.
y'all, I'm Christopher Harris. That's Jessica Canty. Jessica, tell everybody a little bit about who you are.
Hey there, I'm Jessica Canty. I am your life and career strategist. I have a passion for helping melanin millennial moms who want high achieving careers. That is why I'm so amped to talk about careers. Listen, I have to keep my notebook next to me because if not, I can get excited. We'll be here till tomorrow talking about careers. But if you've got career challenges and if you're trying to avoid those curveballs and pitfalls, it's time to tune in. Let's chat about it.
That's fantastic. And I'm Christopher Harris, and I am not an alliterator right at this moment in my introduction like Jessica is. But yeah, you can check me out right there. That's my website. Of course, Jessica's website was just up. You can check her out. You're looking at doing some career development. And here's a shameless plug. Maybe it's not shameless, but here's a plug. Jessica's going to be on Clubhouse next Tuesday. Next Tuesday, that's July 26th, I think, at 7 p.m. Talking about career development, career strategies, some checkup, a tune up, if you would, for your career. So go ahead and check her out there. It's going to be on at the Wisdom for Life Clubhouse, Wisdom for Life Clubhouse. So you can check her out there. That's my website there. I'm also the executive pastor at Crossover Church here in Tampa, Florida, and also the founder and CEO of DiverseChurchJobs.com, where we help people of color in ministry find incredible ministry opportunities and those organizations to find incredible people of color. And so we're excited to come to you. As I mentioned earlier, this is Callings and Careers, and our goal is to help you discover your calling and develop in your career. So, Jessica, man, we've
Yes.
talked about quiet quitting. We've talked about a personal board of directors. We've talked about your power script. We've talked about how to assess yourself. Mid-year checkup, I think we did one time. We've talked about all kinds of other things. It's been an incredible show. And we just finished talking a little bit about some things that we're going to be working on for the fall. So I'm excited about that. But today, tell everybody what we're going to be talking about today.
Listen, today is a much needed, timely conversation. We're going to talk a little bit about 3 raise-worthy recordings. 3 raise-worthy recordings. So
Oh,
you may be
come
asking
on.
yourself, Jessica, why are we talking about this today? I'm gonna tell you why. Because when I go to the gas pump, I have to give myself a pep talk because that cost of putting gas in my car is devastating. When I'm in the grocery store, I'm making like life or death decisions. Do I buy apple or do I buy an apple? I mean, do I buy an apple or a bag of chips? Because the cost is just um, exorbitantly increased. And if you've been listening to the news lately, you'll notice that financial planners and analysts are projecting that we're headed towards a recession. And what that means for us financially means we've got to get our financial houses in order. And one of the ways we
Yeah.
do that is through our income, and we get an income from work. So a lot of us may be, in this pattern of determining, do I stay at a job for the benefits or the perks, and not knowing how to exit strategy. So today we're going to talk a little bit about how to make sure that there's more paycheck than month, so you don't have to do what I did. I remember at one point in my career looking in the couch cushions to try to find change to get to the grocery store. So we really want to make sure that we're doing daily what's going to ensure that we're able to take care of our families, take care of our bills, and take care of ourselves.
That's so good. That's so good.
Yeah,
And
yeah,
you know, the money conversation is on everybody's mind, right? It's on everybody's
yes.
mind right now. People are thinking about it. People are processing it. People are
Mhm.
worried about it in some ways. And so I do think before we jump into this, though, Jessica, I think it'll be important for people to know um, that your worth should not be contingent on your direct deposit.
Mm, that's a message. That's a
Yeah,
message.
your
Yeah.
worth. Now, you know, the market is what it is, and you negotiate what you negotiate for your salary and your package and your benefits. Many jobs have a pay scale and all those kinds of things. But please don't think that your value is connected to how much your direct deposit is. Especially if you are listening to this and you are a follower of Jesus Christ, which we
Mm,
unapologetically talk about faith here. Your worth is absolutely connected to who God has made you to be, who He's wired you to be. And so don't have low self esteem. You shouldn't be at a space where people need to hand out self esteem to you for your value, for you to think your value is not high. You have high value. You have high value. So,
mhm,
all right,
mhm.
we have our tongue twister for the day. 3 raise worthy recordings. Now, why did you say
Absolutely.
recordings? Let's talk about
I'm
that. Why did we say recordings?
I'm so glad you asked that question because it's really connected to your kind of trailer to the conversation. That we can't determine our wealth based on our direct deposit, nor can we base our wealth on external validation, like when our boss says "good job" or here's an additional project for you, and no additional salary. And when we put those things on our shoulders, so we have to take responsibility of recording all the ways that we are awesome. And so when I say
Yeah,
recording, I'm a kind of old school kind of girl. I'm literally looking at 5 notebooks sitting next to me right now. So I like to make sure I record it with paper and pen. But it's important that we daily record these 3 specific things so that when we go into the boardroom or we go in to have a conversation and negotiate a promotion, to negotiate even a transfer from one department to the next, maybe you're going in and negotiating, making sure that you are actually getting that salary increase. But don't
yeah,
wait for your boss to record it down on your PIP. Don't wait to get a PIP. Don't wait to get your evaluation plan, which happens more for most people twice a year. That's not the time for you to wonder, what did I complete? What is it that I offer? So these are the things that you do daily so that when it comes time for those conversations, you can just knock it out the park. You can definitely sell yourself for that promotion, that raise, that salary increase.
so, Jessica, really fast, tell everybody what a PIP is. Everybody may not know what that is.
A PIP is a performance improvement plan. Okay. And so
Yeah,
basically, what's happening is that your superiors are saying there's a gap in your performance, and we want to create a plan to support you around it. That's the ideal way that they would sell it to you.
yeah,
Unfortunately, for those who are on the receiving end of it, it feels like it's a punishment plan. It's a
yeah,
oh you're in trouble type plan, and
yeah,
it's something that's recorded in HR, and it's just it can make work very very awkward. And so if you ever get in that situation where someone maliciously is trying to put you on a PIP or a performance improvement plan, if you have these recordings daily, they have no case for it because you have the
wow,
evidence that you are meeting the expectations and superseding them. But if you don't, if you're just basing it on how you feel or what you think you've done, or that this person doesn't really like me, you're never going to win that argument. So you need to have that
never.
concrete evidence, which is why you record it.
That's so good. That's so good. And y'all feel free to put some comments in the chat, whatever platform you're listening to this on. We've got multiple platforms that we're streaming this on live right now. And I say live, some of you may see this later or on demand, and that's okay as well. But feel free to put some comments in the chat. We also still go back and look at other comments as well. So we'd be happy to interject with those. So we've got a short amount of time and a lot of content to give you really fast. So we're going to give you 3 raise-worthy recordings that you need to have documented. What's the first one here, Jessica?
So the very first one is you want to record what you calmed. So what record what
Ooh,
you calmed. So what does that mean? So on a day-to-day basis, because you've got some superpowers, there's some things that you do without even thinking. On automatic pilot, you know how to address it, especially if you've had some years and some expertise around that particular topic. Like if okay, every
yeah,
morning they come in here and we're slammed with a certain type of email. but you're able to calm the seas around that. So when you're thinking
Yeah.
about recording what you calm, you want to think about what crisis you help avert or what you address, what type of crisis you help avert or address. What advice did you give other people? So, for instance, if you're finding yourself having people come over to your cubicle and say, hey, can I ask you a quick question? You want to record what that question is, because that means that they're
Mm,
identifying that there's some level of expertise that you have, that they're coming to you. So you want to make sure you're recording that thing. Quite often, when I work with my career coaching clients and they're ready to make a change, but they're not sure where to change, I say, what do people pick your brain about? Because this is the thing that you don't have to think about too often. This is the thing that
yeah.
off the top of your head, you could talk about for hours. So you're calming the seas in someone else, like, oh my gosh, I'm panicking, but you're helping them to feel more confident about that. And you also want to record the methods that you used when you calmed it. So, for instance, some people have a very set way of doing things in their office. Like you may have a standard operating procedure to address a client complaint, but you may have noticed it takes too much time, it takes too much effort, it takes too much money, and you may have developed a more streamlined way of doing it. You need to record that. You need to make
Yeah.
sure that you're recording that and keeping it in a nice place. Like I'm a notebook kind of girl. Keep it that way, because then that way you can also talk about how you're connecting your company to more promise and ideally even more money for the company to make as well.
Yeah. And I
Yeah.
think one of the beautiful things about this is what it says is that you are an advocate for the team and that you're an advocate for the culture. So it's not just about you,
Mhm.
it's about others, right? And in our culture today, so many people have built their lives around what's in it for me, what's in it for me, what's in it for me. Now, I'm
Mhm.
not we're not naive right now. You got to pay your bills, you got to look out for yourself in that way. But I think that we have to do that from a lens that we're concerned about the people around us. We want our team to be better, because if you do this the right way, Patrick Lencioni has a book called The Five Dysfunctions of a Team. And one of those
Okay.
books, oh, excuse me, one of the dysfunctions, it starts with trust. Do people trust that you want them to win as well? Right. And so that's
Mhm.
important. I love that. The record what you calmed. Record what
Absolutely.
do people pick your brain about? I love that. That's so good.
Mhm,
That's
mhm.
so good.
And that's often what a lot of entrepreneurs wind up starting businesses around, because people kept asking me for advice, people kept asking me to do this for them. So it may also be a great indicator for a transition for you, side hustle, consultation, whatever the case may be. But you're going to start to see trends, and that's a part of the reason why we're recording it, because you want to see the trends, and it makes it that much easier again to sell the fact that if you're not going to compensate me, this is what you're going to miss out on. You're going to miss out on this genius unless you compensate me for it.
So can I go spiritual for just a second, really
Oh,
fast,
come
Jessica?
on. Take your time. Go ahead.
You're so funny. Listen, let me tell y'all something about Jessica. Jessica is like the hype person. Y'all think I'm the hype person? Jessica's the hype person on this podcast, because I'm telling you, Jessica will hype you up, man. So what's interesting when you were talking earlier though about what do people pick your brain about, what problems did
Mhm.
people bring to you, and that you help
Mhm.
calm, what crisis did you help avert or address? The interesting thing to me that I started thinking about as you were saying that is, this is why it's so important for you to operate in your gift, right?
Yes.
Because when you operate in the gift that God has given you, there's a
Mhm.
grace that God gives you and a wisdom that he gives you as you help to calm certain things. Because there's
Yes.
certain things, certain situations, I won't have the grace to calm it, right? I just don't, it may not be in my wheelhouse. But if I'm flowing in my gift, I can speak into that and I can offer wisdom for that
Mhm.
really will exceed beyond my experience and my education, because it's a supernatural deposit that God is using me as an instrument for. I didn't want to go too deep with that, but I thought about that
Ooh.
when you were talking.
We might have to revisit that one, because definitely when we think about how the Holy Spirit speaks to us, and
Yeah,
in those ways, like even when you're saying talk about calm, it's almost as if what he calms on the inside of you as well. But again, that's a whole other
yeah,
message. Like what he's calming on the
yeah.
inside of you is wonderful for everybody else too, when used properly. Absolutely.
Yep. So 3 raise worthy recordings. The first thing that you need to be recording is record what you calmed. Record what you
Absolutely.
calmed. What's the
Absolutely.
second thing that they need to be recording?
So the second thing you need to record is record what you corrected. Record what you
Record
corrected.
what you corrected. I like it.
Absolutely, absolutely. So I'm looking here on my notes because I can get on and get really excited about this career thing. But you need to record the needs that you met and how you
Mm,
managed up and down. So when I talk about the needs that you met,
okay.
how many hours did you put in? How many clients did you see? How many meetings did you sit in? Because what you want to do is to present to your supervisor or the powers that be that you're indispensable, that you're not someone that can be easily replaced. Why? Because I handle on average 5 meetings a day. On average, I'm meeting 20 clients per hour's needs. So you can quantify it for them. So most companies, when I talk to my clients about salaries, they want to know how much money can you make me, how much money can you save me, and what can you connect me with. So once your foot is in the door, you want to continuously remind them about all the value that you're bringing to them. So you really want to think
Yeah.
about again, when I'm talking about the needs that I met, was I able to identify the client's true underlying need? Like, did a client come in and they were very angry about something, but you were able to address, no, this is what really you're upset about. Here's how I can meet that need.
Yeah.
Do you find yourself managing up and down? Do you find that upper management has a policy that makes absolutely no sense when it's time to put it into practice? Do you find that people who are your subordinates or your frontline staff are finding it very hard to implement those things? So how did you make sure you were in alignment with authority, but also had an ear to listening to your staff and their concerns? So you really want to record again any volunteer work that you did during the day. Like, did you find yourself sitting in on a meeting for somebody? Did you find yourself, taking on somebody else's duties? That's something that
Wow.
you corrected, right? Because if your presence wasn't there, it would have been flawed. If your presence wasn't there, it wouldn't have been successful. So that's what you're showing them, that by having me on your team, this is what you saved money on. This is what made sure that there was a profit margin increase. This is what connected you to another great entity to continue to expand your influence. So you want to record what you corrected. And that's the needs that you met, how you managed up and down, how many hours you worked, the clients you met. All that needs to be recorded in one area, because we often forget. Yeah, I did work 7 hours that day. I did talk to 20 people on the phone that day. And when it comes time for evaluation, you're not going to remember all those numbers. But if you record it daily, it's that much easier.
So good. So good. This
Mhm.
basically answers the question. Here's the value I bring. Here's the value I bring. I love that.
Mhm.
I
Mhm.
love
Mhm.
that. That's so good. That's so good.
You want to make it a
All right.
no-brainer. Yeah,
I
yeah.
bring value to the table. I bring
Mhm.
value to the table. Yeah. That's so
Absolutely.
good. All right, let's jump into this last one. So, three raise worthy recordings. Three
Uh-huh.
things that you need to be recording. So, the first thing you need to be recording is, what did you calm? What did you
Mhm.
calm? What did you calm? Number two, what did you correct? What
Uh-huh.
value have you added? You talked about the meetings and all that stuff, the fruit of your labor. What's the last one, Jessica?
Mhm. So thirdly, you want to record what you collected. Record what
Mm,
you collected. Okay.
mm,
And so this is very important because it shows that you're thinking outside the box. It shows
yeah,
that sort of similar to what you were saying earlier, that you're invested in the long haul. That yes, we have the motivation to get a paycheck every 2 weeks, but I'm also motivated to see the company win, to see the agency win. So what you want to record, what I mean by what you collected, is what questions did you ask? What answers did you receive? And what wisdom did you receive? So, for instance, because I absolutely love studying all things here, even in my personal time, I'm listening to a podcast, listening to an audible, and it's some kind of way tying into the work that I do. So, when I'm having conversations, I can say, you know what? The last time I heard about this was the cutting edge thing that was being brought to this particular challenge. Have you all considered? I heard that they were doing something like this overseas. I heard something that they were doing something like this in an area that was bringing a lot of profits to that particular company. So don't let it be wasted. Record it. So I'm always writing down what podcasts I've listened to and what were the pertinent numbers that were going to help that particular client I was working with or that particular agency I was working with. If someone gave me some wisdom, I want to record it too. So if you're meeting with your executive board, like we talked about, you need to have that in the same space. Um, thinking about what did they tell you that you needed to improve on? What were some systems that they told you to try out? All those things need to be recorded daily, because what happens is if we don't use it, we lose it. So you're,
Yeah.
you're trying to remember why was it significant, and you listened to that podcast last week. That's not going to help you. You want to make sure that you're able to refresh it and bring it into conversations, especially because you never know when you're going to have an impromptu meeting with your supervisor. They may say, "Hey, Jessica, what do you think about this?" Oh yeah, let me go ahead and bring. It looks really professional. I'm bringing my notebook or whatever that is. I've really been thinking about this in my personal time too. That shows commitment.
Yeah.
Now I'm very careful to say it because I want you to still draw boundaries and have
Yeah.
protect your personal space. But there's something about that's so fired up about the work that they actually think about it outside the work hours as well.
Yeah.
And that's what you're showing them when you record what you collected.
That's so good. That's so good. So watch this, y'all. Here are the three things. Here are the three things. Three raise-worthy recordings that help you add value to your work environment, to your context. The first thing is you got to record what you calmed. The second thing is you got to record what you corrected. And then the third thing that you got to record is record what you collected, right? So three raise-worthy recordings. Here's what's interesting, Jessica. These three things assumes that people have a healthy note-taking system.
Mm-hmm.
It assumes that people already have an organized way that they document their life, they document their itinerary, their journal, their thoughts, their prayers, those conversations, talked about the wisdom. And so I think they're maybe we have this on another discussion, but I think that we have to acknowledge, at least for the people that are listening to this, that if you don't have this system in place, your notes are going to be all over the place. You're going to come across as disorganized. You won't be able to find things that you need to find when you need to find it, et cetera, et cetera. So I'll just mention a couple of things that I use that will help folks to think about some of the ideas that are out there. So I was just sitting here looking at my devices here. So I use Evernote. I like Evernote. Evernote allows for you to put dates and timestamps on things. It allows for you to clip things into it. And here's the part that I really like. I can put tags on each note so that if I'm looking up something, let's just say that I want to, find all of my notes for callings and careers, where I can put a tag on every single note, no matter what day it is, that's titled callings and careers. And so I can put multiple notes in there to pull up multiple things. So I think that's really, really really important. I use the app on my phone, the Notes app on my phone as well, because some of those documents are also shared with others, and so I want to make sure that that my notes again are easy to find for the people that need it. And then finally, I use Google Docs, right? The Google Drive. Sometimes you want to put documents in there. You can share the entire thing, and that's also updating in real time. So those are just like three quick tools. What do you use, Jessica, if anything? Oh, I do, and I have a physical journal too. I'm sorry, I use my physical journal too.
Absolutely. I'm getting excited for two reasons. One, because I can talk about planners all day, every day, but also because this is why I created a tool. And what I'm thinking about doing is, if you are watching this on catching this live or catching this on replay, I'm thinking about giving you a free gift. Yeah, I'll give it to you. I'll give you a sheet that you can print off, put it in a notebook, so you don't have to spend any money other than ink and paper. I mean, make it cost effective for you. But tools that I use regularly. I've been a fan of Passion Planner for like probably the last 4 or 5 years. I don't work for a company.
Planner.
Yeah, I'm not going to get paid for anything of this nature, but I absolutely love it. It really gives me space to keep my to-do list, and it also gives me space to plan out each month and reflect on each month as well. So I love doing that. I like to project into the next quarter, things of that nature. So I love Passion Planner. I definitely I'm looking right now, I have 2 different prayer journals as well. That really helps me to look back on what God has brought me through and to see exactly how prayers do get answered, especially when I'm in a meeting and I need God to come through in that meeting because I'm frustrated or I'm not getting the answer I need. It reminds me that He is good in all things. He answers prayers. But the thing that made me excited is because I don't even know if it's going to come across as clear, but a few years ago, I created work journal, and it's for that same reason that a lot of times people don't have a space to record it in. So
Yeah.
because you're a listener of Callings and Careers, if you decide to listen to this episode, and you should listen to the episode, and you send me an email, just let me know that you listened to 3 Raiseworthy recordings, and I will send you the sheet. I will send you the I have a work kit that is accompanying to the work journal. And I think it's like three different tools I'll send you. It'll be this one, and then what to do with that information. So once you've recorded, it's like, okay, Jessica, what do I do with this information? I'll give you 2 additional tools to help you support you on what to do and how to implement that information that you've recorded.
What email should they send it to, or they just should go to the website?
Just send it to Jessica Canty at jessicacanty.com, because then I'll send it directly to you.
Right.
Mm-hmm. It'll be free 99, so don't be afraid. It's not going to be some hidden cost, but you definitely want to make sure you can. Jessica Canty at jessicacanty.com.
Love that. Love that. Love that. That's incredible. So listen, y'all, our goal is to help you. We want to add value to your lives. Jessica, so when do you order your passion planner?
Oh, great question. I already have, maybe I'm a bit of too much of a planner, but I already have in my journal to order it around the October timeframe. So it'll be soon, because I like to think of my work in quarters. So if I wait to, January, I'm already in the quarter. So I like to know in October how my January, February, March are going to go. Yeah. So around October
I love
time,
it.
Yeah.
I love it. I love it. I love it. Well, listen, y'all, this is the value that we've added to you today. I can't wait for y'all to jump in with us in the fall. We're gonna have some incredible conversations. We've got some incredible guests that we'll have lined up that we'll be announcing to you at some point in the future. Again, we're honored to come to you twice a month. This is Callings and Careers, and together we are hosting Christ-centered career coaching conversations. Christ-centered career coaching conversations. Our goal, our commitment is to help you discover your calling and then develop in your career. And so I'm Christopher Harris.
And I'm Jessica Canty.
And this is Callings and Careers. Thank you so much for tuning in, everybody. Have an amazing day. We'll see y'all the next time that we're here live. Go click that link. Go send that email right now so that y'all can get this free gift tool. I know it'll be a blessing in your life. All right. Peace and blessings, everybody.